Having a spiritual awakening before 2020 was already a bit of a challenge. But after 2020, everything got a bit more intense, and now the energies have shifted so quickly, so abruptly, that it feels sometimes like we're living in the twilight zone. So having a spiritual awakening in these new energies is no easy task. We're facing new challenges that we've never faced with older energy, and we're having to quickly adapt to this new energy so that we can thrive in our lives like never before. In this video, you'll learn the 2 key issues that are affecting your spiritual awakening right now. Then we're going to go over the ways in which these issues affect you, especially your physical body. And then we'll finish the video with the top 5 tips that I have to help you overcome these issues and get through this energy with a lot more centeredness and peace. Coming up. Hello, beautiful soul. This is Christina Lopes, the Heart Alchemist, here to help you open your heart, heal your past, and live with purpose. If you're new to my videos, click on that subscribe button and also on the bell so you get notified as soon as I publish new content. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram, where I share weekly tips that you won't find here on YouTube. Before we get into the video, I wanted you to know that I've added a workbook as a supplemental resource for this video. This free workbook is going to have some key takeaways and also some homework questions that you can use to go deeper on the content that we discussed today. I'm going to leave a link to that free workbook below so you can download it after watching this video. On to part 1 of the video, the 2 key issues that are happening right now. So since 2020, since the beginning of 2020, I've been talking about how the COVID pandemic really, when the COVID pandemic hit, there was a major shift in energy throughout 2020 into 2021. And this major energy shift, it actually intensified more at the end of 2020 and into the beginning of 2021. This major shift came in very rapidly with very accelerated energy, and it's really continued to play out since the beginning of 2020. Now, I shot 2 whole videos on this topic. One of them is about the new energy that's actually on the planet with the onset of the COVID pandemic, and another one is on the age of Aquarius, which is the new energy and what this whole energy shift is all about. I shot these 2 videos. I'm going to leave links in the description box below so you can go deeper into this content after watching the video. But this huge shift on the planet that has occurred in such a short amount of time, it's really created some issues for a lot of us, especially for newly awakened people. There's so many people woke up through this COVID pandemic and started having their spiritual awakenings during the pandemic and during 2020 and into 2021. And so the people that are really newly awakening are feeling these issues really, really deeply, but also for the people that were already spiritually experienced and had already been going through their spiritual awakenings for years before 2020 hit, we're also going through issues, okay? So these issues are really, really affecting us specifically right now. I think it's at the highest intensity that these 2 issues have been. And so I want to talk about these 2 issues, all right? So the first issue that's happening right now and is really intensified right now is a rapid ascension, okay? That's the first issue, all right? So when I use the word ascension really just means 2 things, 2 basic things. One is that the frequency of energy increases. So it goes from lower frequency to higher frequency. That's really that's one of the things that ascension means. The second thing that ascension means is that we are bombarded with more light. Okay, so more light hits us, we absorb more light, we hold more light, all right? The more light that we hold, the higher our ascension. Okay, so these 2 things are associated with ascension. Now, what's happened from 2020 into when I'm shooting this video right now, and it's going to continue to happen, is that there's been a rapid ascension, really rapid ascension, all right? And just to give you an idea, before 2020, the way that the ascension process, we've been ascending, that's really part of evolution, is an ascension process. But the way that ascension worked before was we were ascending at a slower rate, so it was nice and steady and slower, okay? So if you think of it like a graph, Our ascension process before 2020 was slow, steady, and kind of in a linear fashion, all right? So another way of saying this is, if you understand algebra, is that the slope of the line was lower, okay? So we were ascending at a nice, steady, kind of slower, more steady pace, all right? That's how the ascension process was occurring before 2020. But then as soon as 2020 hit, and we just got bombarded with this monumental shift in energy, what happened was the ascension process went from this nice line that kind of spread across time to this just exponential increase in energy, an exponential increase in frequency in a short amount of time. So the slope of this line just skyrocketed, okay? And what this means is that the more rapid the ascension process, the more issues I'm going to have, okay? So let's talk about some of the issues that you can have in a rapid ascension time. So when there are really rapid ascensions, and I don't think that there has ever been such a fast ascension as rapid ever on Earth as what's occurring right now, okay? So I don't think this has ever happened on Earth, this speed of ascension. And so what we can call this a quantum jump or a quantum leap or a quantum shift, okay? So a quantum shift, it just refers to the speed at which the ascension process is occurring right now, okay? And you may be asking yourself, okay, you know, like, what's the problem? What's the problem with the ascension process being so much faster now than it was before? Okay, what's the problem with that? So the main issue of having an ascension process accelerate so quickly is you're going to have a main issue with one part of you, and that's the physical body, okay? You're a multidimensional being. You've got a lot of quantum parts that part of you that don't fit here in this time-space reality. You've got your chakras, you've got your electromagnetic field. There are a bunch of parts of your multidimensional self that have no problem whatsoever with quantum shifts, okay? No problem with fast accelerations. Your soul doesn't have a problem with it. Your chakras don't have a problem with it. Your electromagnetic field doesn't have a problem with it. But your physical body is a whole other story, because your physical body is the only part of you that's made out of matter. Okay, flesh, matter, and matter takes time to change, okay? Because matter is a part of you that falls within this time-space reality. So matter obeys what's known as Newtonian physics or the Newtonian laws. It obeys the laws of the time-space reality that you're in. And so when I incarnate in a time-space reality where I have matter, matter takes time to change. Whereas in the quantum world, in your chakras, your electromagnetic field, there's no time. You can change in no time. Okay, but when it comes to your body, now you're obeying the laws, the classical laws of physics. So now change takes time, across linear time, okay? Because that's the reality that we are incarnated in. And so your physical body is really the part of you that has the most problem with rapid ascension, because now what's happening is your body is being asked to house more light, okay? And spiritually, this is known as the light quotient, or LQ. When you go through an ascension process, the beautiful cells in your body, and there are about 30 trillion, if not more, estimates vary, but think of your body as being a community of about 30 trillion sentient cells. And those beautiful cells, when the ascension process starts, those cells are asked to open up to receive more light. The more you can house light in your body, the higher your light quotient, all right? Now, this process has been occurring across history. Whenever you ascend, your body will actually house more light, and that's a part of the ascension process. But the issue right now is that our bodies are being asked to open up to more light and to house more light at a faster speed than we have ever done before. And this presents a lot of challenges for the physical body. The second issue happening right now is extreme acceleration, all right? So we already talked about how the energy is ascending very, very rapidly, but it's also becoming extremely accelerated, all right? And this is actually felt in people's everyday lives. So it's felt on a couple of ways, and see if this is happening to you if you've had this feeling. The one way in which you can feel the extreme acceleration in energy is that our perception of time changes. Okay, so a lot of people are saying, and I don't know if you've noticed this in your own life, that time is moving faster. It's almost like the day just disappears before our eyes. So our perception of time is changing. It feels like time is moving faster. Okay, so that's one way that you can perceive the extreme acceleration in the energy. A second way is that things are manifesting faster, okay? So what's happening is there is a much shorter interval between the way that I vibrate and the way that I throw out energy into the world and what comes back to me in return, okay? So the manifestation process, things are materializing in our lives a lot faster than they did before, okay? So these two things, I don't know if they're showing up in your life, but I've certainly felt them in my life and in the lives of many people that I've connected with. And this is part of the extreme acceleration that's happening right now. Now, this extreme acceleration presents some issues too, because what's happening when the energy is accelerated, basically what I'm telling people is you have to be very careful what you wish for. It gives us, we have a different level of responsibility in extremely accelerated energy, because here's what's going on. If I am manifesting things, and remember, we're always manifesting because we live in a resonance-based universe. So whatever energy we throw out, the universe matches it with the same resonance, with like energy, okay? And so we're constantly attracting and we're constantly manifesting. We're constantly walking through life like little magnets, really, all right? Now, at a slower energy, when the energy was less accelerated, it meant that I had time to fine-tune my energy. So I could be a little bit more lazy in my thought process. I could be a little bit more lazy and just kind of letting my energy do whatever it wanted to do, because I always had a little bit of time to course correct, because the time in between my throwing out energy and the manifestation coming to me, there was a big lag in that energy. The energy was slower, which meant that the manifestation loop was slower, okay? And I have, the metaphor that I love to use for this to kind of give you an idea of how, how the slower energy means that the manifestation loop is slower is from the movie Zootopia. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Zootopia, but there's a cool character in Zootopia called Flash, the sloth, okay? So his name is Flash, and here's just a little take on how slow Flash is, and to give you an idea of what the energy was like before 2020.
Hey, Flash, want to hear a joke?
No!
Sure.
What do you call a three-humped camel?
I don't know. What do you call a
Three-humped camel.
three-humped camel?
Pregnant.
So this image of Flash that I love so much is a great example of how slow the manifestation loop used to be before 2020. But then 2020 came in, and now the energy went into extreme acceleration. And what it feels like now, actually, the metaphor that I love to use for the new energy now and this extreme acceleration is a ping pong match between pros. If you've ever seen a ping pong match between the top pros in the world, it is totally insane to watch. So these two metaphors kind of show you the difference between the acceleration in the energy before 2020 and after 2020. And what this means on a practical sense is when the energy accelerates, it means that we have a different level of responsibility, because now we have to be really clear in our minds and clear in our energy, because we have less time to fine-tune our energy before something manifests and hits us in the head. Okay, so think about this from a practical sense. Let me give you a practical example because I like to work with practical examples, all right? Let's say that you have a really negative mindset and that you're always thinking crappy things and that life never works out for you and you just keep having that negative mindset. Well, now in an accelerated energy, you have one or two negative mindset thoughts and boom, something negative materializes in your life. That's how quick the manifestation loop is going, all right? So this shows you that now with accelerated energy, we have to be super aware to keep our minds clear, keep our energies clear, so that we're pinging out into the universe higher and higher, more clear energy, so that we manifest the things that we truly want and the things that are in our highest good. And we stop manifesting crap and negativity and drama in our lives. Now, I want to leave a little side note here. Ding, ding. I really just, I want to give a shout out to the people who actually woke up in 2020 and into 2021 who are newly awakened. Because really, if this is you, if the COVID pandemic basically was your awakening moment, I really send so much compassion to you because it is no easy task to be awakening for the first time in these intense and accelerated energies. It's no easy task. So I send a lot of compassion and a lot of love. And I want you all to know that those of us that were already going through our spiritual awakening, that are more experienced on the path, we're here holding the light for you so that this spiritual awakening of yours happening right now can be a little bit more smoother. And for those of us that were already spiritually experienced, where our awakening started years before 2020, we're still getting hit with the energy too. So I'm sending a shout out to you and a lot of love and compassion, because if you were already going through a spiritual awakening before 2020, what's probably happening right now is you're having resurfacing or the pulling up of really some deeper stuff that you hadn't healed or that you hadn't been aware of before. And so that's being pulled up. So that takes some work also. So I'm also sending you love. We're going to all make it through this, but it's been a little bit challenging in these new energies. On to part 2 of the video, how these energy issues affect us. Okay, so there are really 4 main ways that I'm seeing when I tap into the energy. And really these 4 ways in which the energy is affecting us, it has a lot to do with any kind of pre-existing energy blocks that you had within yourself before the onset of these accelerated energies. Because what's happening now is the ascension process has been accelerated, everything has been accelerated and intensified. And so that means that light is coming in with increased velocity into your system. And if it's coming up against any blockages in your system, it's going to plow right through them. And so that can create a lot of issues. All right. So here are the 4 things that I'm going to talk about now. The first way in which these energy issues are affecting us is through physical symptoms, okay? And these ones, there are a few of them that are actually really pertinent right now, so I want to talk about those because they're very associated with this rapid ascension process and the acceleration in energy. The first one is just general aches and pains, especially tension, muscle tension. So that's really common right now. The second one is exhaustion. Okay, so this rapid intake of light is causing a lot of physical exhaustion in people. So that's another one. Another one is feeling pressure headaches. Very, very common feeling pressure headaches right now, especially as the energy moves into the mental body, into your mind to kind of clear it out. And another one that's happening is ringing in the ears. Okay, so when these ascension processes are occurring with a lot of speed, your ears can start to ring. So let me know if this is that. Let me know in the comments below if you're resonating with any of these symptoms. Ringing in the ears can increase, and it can get to such a high pitch that it really bothers, really bothers you. And it's because your third eye is being worked on, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland. There's a bunch of stuff going on here at the level of this third eye chakra and the level of these upper chakras. And so these upper chakras govern your ears. And so you're literally being pulled up, and it's almost like you can hear the energy. You can hear the light, if that makes sense. It translates into this ringing of the ear that sometimes really bothers a lot of people. One particularity of these physical symptoms that you could really use to notice if the physical symptoms are having to do with the acceleration and the ascension process, there's a particularity that you can catch. So you can distinguish between something that may be really going on with your body and you may need to see a doctor, or if this is coming from the ascension process and it's just going to be temporary. So here's the particularity. The particularity is that these symptoms generally have a very fast onset. So you could just be sitting working one day and boom, suddenly you get this onset, this headache that just happens so quickly out of nowhere. As an example, it could be any other symptom, but there's a really rapid onset. But then what happens is really cool. If you catch the physical symptom and you remember that it's coming from the ascension process and you stop whatever you're doing, if you're able to do that at the time, stop whatever you're doing and just do some practices to move energy within you, the physical symptom can be a really fast onset, but when you move the energy, it also has a fast offset, meaning that it goes away pretty quickly, all right? So this is a particularity to help you hone in whether the physical symptoms or physical issues you're having right now is coming from this fast ascension process. The second way in which these energy issues are affecting us is through heart sensations. So even though heart sensations are technically a physical symptom, I wanted to put this here in a separate category because the heart chakra has a heavy focus when it comes to this new ascension process, this accelerated process. The heart is really involved. So I wanted to talk about it on its own. Okay. So a lot of what's going on related to the heart expansion with this ascension process has to do with palpitations, maybe flutters in the heart. Some people are actually telling me that they can feel their heart a lot more easily. So they're walking down the street and they can actually have a sensation of their heart, their chest area expanding, okay? Other issues that could be going on is people will have increased sensation or tingling or sensations going down the arms and into the hands. And you have to remember that the arms and the hands are governed by the heart chakra. So when there's a heart chakra awakening, it'll affect your hands, your arms, all the way into the chest. Okay, so there's another issue that may be going on is just heart sensations, very common right now in this accelerated ascension process. The third way in which these energy issues are affecting us is through mental agitation. This is also really common right now. And literally what is happening is this is affecting the mental body of your aura and also your mind. So just to give you a little review, if you've never seen an aura, the human aura has multiple layers. One of those layers is called the mental body. And so the mental body is highly associated with your mind and with your brain. And it's actually the layer of the aura where thought originates from. It's not coming from your head. It actually starts on the quantum field of the aura in that mental body. And so in these energies of acceleration, as the light is coming in and the process of ascension is accelerating, the mental agitation is actually quite common, because what's happening is it's almost like that light is coming into the mental body of the aura and into your mind, and it's cleaning things up. It's forcing negative mindsets to the surface. It's forcing you to see subconscious beliefs that you hold within you that are no longer in resonance with that light. So the light is basically asking you to purge all of that stuff, and that can lead to mental agitation. And the image that I sometimes like to show of this is a washing machine. So when you put clothes in a washing machine and you get the washing machine going, those clothes are going to be bounced around the washing machine for hours sometimes until they come out clean. And that's essentially what's going on in your mind. The light is coming through and it's sort of taking your whole mind in this washing machine kind of cycle to clean it of any negative mindsets and any subconscious beliefs that are really no longer serving you. Especially the higher the energy gets, the more clear we have to be in our minds. And so the energy is going to be kind of pushing you and challenging this mental body in your mind to just clear and come into more optimistic mindset, into a more expansive way of thinking. The fourth and last way in which these energy issues are affecting us right now is with sleep changes. This is really common right now, and especially during very rapid phases of ascension, sleep changes are very, very common. And sleep changes could be one of two ways. You can find yourself sleeping more than you usually do, so you're just so exhausted, your body's going through so many changes that you literally can sleep for like 10 hours if allowed to, okay? So you may want to have the feeling or the need to sleep longer than usual, so that could be happening. But also the opposite could be happening. You can actually be sleeping less because your energy is agitated or your energy is restless. I've had people actually say to me, and this happened to me too during my ascension process, was that I would sometimes go periods where I was sleeping less because I could actually feel the vibration of my cells as they were going through the ascension process. And that vibration, it felt like a humming or a vibration in my whole body. And sometimes it wasn't really, I didn't feel restless. I just felt like I was laying on the bed and I just didn't want to sleep, or I didn't need to sleep. And I could feel my whole body alive with more light and more energy. So that could be going on too, that you're sleeping less. Because you feel a little bit of agitation, or you're actually feeling the energy vibrating in your body. On to part 3 of the video, how to work with these energy issues that we've been talking about. So even though the energy is shifting upwardly, we've been talking about the acceleration of the energy, we've been talking about the rapid ascension. So even though all of this is happening, and these are really intense times to be here on planet Earth, we can really, really navigate these energies with a lot more centeredness and a lot more peace. And I'm going to discuss my top 5 tips to help you kind of implement these tips. If you implement these tips in your life, you're going to find that the intensity of the energy is going to be a lot easier to navigate. Okay, so I have 5 top tips for you so that you can start implementing these in your life today. Tip number 1 is called choice points. Okay, so what I mean by choice points is that even though we are connected in this beautiful big universe and there are so many things happening that are completely outside of our control, for example, I talked about how planet Earth herself is changing energy. And so there are these huge mega cycles that are completely outside of our control and that are bigger than us, right? But we're an intimate part of the system too. But sometimes what happens is people, they start to look at the mega cycles of the universe and all of the things that are happening, and they start to think that within all of these changes, they really have no control, and they're just kind of thrown around like a rag doll by the universe, okay? And that's not really true. What's happening is, yes, it is true that there are mega cycles that we don't have any control over. But we have absolute choice in the way that we navigate the changes in energy, in the way that we navigate the mega cycles on planet Earth and beyond, okay? And that's where the choice points come in. When you start to realize that any given moment you have the ability to choose how you are going to respond, how you are going to behave, how you are going to be in this world, when you have a really awareness of those choice points, everything changes for you, because you start to realize that at any given moment, you're either helping to go into the energy and you're making your life a lot easier for yourself, or you're choosing to go a little bit, kind of in the route that causes a little bit more suffering, okay? And I'll give you a practical example of this. I like using practical examples. So let's say that we just talked about this enormous energy. The energy is pulling you up. The energy is asking you to clean this mind, be clear in your mind, be clear in your energy. But let's just say that you don't really care about what Christina has to say in this video. And so you keep thinking with a negative mindset. You are stuck in negativity, okay? That's a choice point. That is absolutely a choice point. Now, that choice point is going to lead to very different outer circumstances and a very different experience in your life than the choice point of you saying, all right, I'm on this planet, the energy is changing, I chose to be here at this time, exactly at this point of change, and so I'm going to make the choice of going with the flow and using practical tools and developing myself and learning to go with this energy so that I can thrive down here instead of struggle, okay? These are 2 very vastly different choice points, but these choice points are going to make a huge difference in your life. So don't ever let the conversation about the mega shifts going on in the planet and beyond, don't let that discourage you from understanding your own power and your own sovereignty and how much you can actually affect your own life and how you navigate these energies. So choice points are important. Become aware that at every given moment you have choice in the present moment, and each choice that you make in the present moment is either going to help you flow with the energy more, or it's going to create a lot more suffering in your life, right? We are not rag dolls being thrown around by the universe. That's not what's happening. We are interconnected with this universe, and we are very powerful co-creators in our reality and beyond our own reality. And speaking of your power and energy sovereignty, that takes us to tip number 2, which is stabilize in self. Okay. And what I mean by this is that when we're going through this enormous shift, like what's happening right now on the planet, this acceleration in energy and this really rapid ascension process, this can feel to us sometimes like a tsunami that's literally crashing on top of our heads. That's how powerful this can feel. But always remember that no matter what is going on, no matter how many cycles are changing, no matter how the energy changes outside of me, there is always a place within me that is stable, that is at peace, that is grounded, that is calm, all right? There's a place deep, deep within you, and I'm touching my chest because that's literally where the center of your whole being is. There's a part of you deep within you that is anchored, that is peaceful, that's always there, that's still. Okay, so no matter what's going on the outside, you can access that place. You can stabilize your energy within yourself. And this is crucial right now. The age of us using the outside world in order to feel stable, those times are over. Okay, so that's what we used to use. Before 2020, we would use our house, our money, our partner, all kinds of things on the outside in order to make us feel stable or not, okay? But now in these new energies, the stability that we need in our lives is coming from within us. We're self-realizing. And what self-realization means is that I have everything I need within me. I don't need to rely on the outside world for stability anymore. And that's where the stabilizing in self means. It means you connect to that deep part of you that's always peaceful, that's always centered, that's always calm. It's just always there. But in order for you to connect with that part of you, you need to be disciplined about it. So this is where a little bit of discipline comes in. For you to be disciplined about having daily practices that cultivate your connection with this inner peace, with this deep, as I'm talking to you, I can actually feel it. When you train yourself to go into this depth of being within you, you can access that even when you're having a normal conversation like I'm having right now as I'm talking to you into this camera. I can feel that spot that I'm asking you to access, okay? There's always peace, there's always stillness, it's always there, and you can access it through training. But that's where the discipline comes in, okay? So be disciplined to create daily practices. Maybe it includes meditation, maybe it includes being in nature, maybe it includes exercise, maybe it includes, there's a bunch of different ways in which you can cultivate these daily practices to come in to this peace that you have inside of you. The more that you're able to connect to that peaceful center within you, the more easily it'll be for you to stabilize in the middle of, even if it does feel like a tsunami outside, you'll be able to stabilize when you connect with that deeper part of you. So just to give you a little bit of an example of what this could look like for you, let me share kind of what I go through and what the discipline and the activities that I have in my own life. I'll give you a couple of examples of what I do to kind of cultivate connecting with this inner peace, all right? One of them that I use is I'll take one day a week. So I work 6 days a week and I take one day a week off. It's usually a Sunday. Sundays are usually very, very sacred for me. I'll take my Sunday off and I will literally, when I say I take it off, I mean I am very disciplined about disconnecting from technology because I use technology so much. Cell phones, emails, I'm constantly on computer communicating with my team all over the place in front of a camera. So when I get to Sunday, I disconnect from all technology. I will grab my cell phone. I put my cell phone on Do Not Disturb for Sunday. It's actually already set in my cell phone. It's already programmed, so I don't even have to think about it. At Saturday at midnight, right when it turns to Sunday, the phone will go into Do Not Disturb mode. I programmed it to do that. And so that means that all of Sunday, I won't get email notifications. I won't get Instagram notifications. I won't get Facebook notifications. I will not go on social media on Sunday. I will not go and look at my emails on Sunday. I'll literally be off of technology, okay? And what I do on Sunday is I like to do very grounded things, like I'll cook for myself. I'll go out to brunch, when all this craziness and quarantines are over. I like to go out to brunch. I like to be by the ocean. I like to connect with nature. But this part about me not connecting with technology is something that I use on Sunday. So there's a practice that I do. So that might be something that you want to implement in your life. I cultivate a lot of silence on Sunday. So I meditate a lot. I just sit in silence. So Sundays are really important for me in this kind of energy practice that I like to use, especially the disconnection from technology. Then I also do daily things. So I have a couple of routines. I do a morning routine where I'm literally cultivating body movement. I exercise. I do meditation. So I meditate in the morning. So I have a morning routine, and then I have a night routine that I do at night. After I finish working, I disconnect again from technology, and I start my night routine that involves stretching, meditation, dancing, all of these kinds of things. So I've designed specific routines for morning and for night, and I'll do these every day of the week, okay? And when I don't do any of these practices, I could feel it right away. And so sometimes, we're all human. Sometimes something happens and we're not able to do a morning routine, or we're not able to do a night routine, whatever. But the point is, I'll catch myself and it won't feel good. So then I go back to my routine again. All right. So I wanted to leave this as an example of the types of daily practices that you can use to start to really stabilize in yourself so you can navigate these energies with a lot more peace and centeredness. Tip number 3 is to dominate the energy. Okay, now let me get into what I mean by this. This tip is specifically related to other people, okay? Because as these energies are intensifying, there's a lot of chaos in the world, especially within people that are unawakened or unconscious, because they're feeling the energy shifts too. Whether they're spiritually awakened or not, everybody's feeling the energy shifts. And we have to have a lot of compassion for people who are unawakened right now, because their lives are being shaken, but they don't have the spiritual foundation to be able to understand what's happening to them. And that can lead to a lot of chaos. And so that means that if you look at the world around us, people are really unstable right now, especially emotionally. They're just all over the place, and also mentally, really. And so this tip means that you're going to start to learn how to come into your power. And that means that you're going to learn that you do not have to be affected by the energy of the people around you or in the world, okay? And this sometimes takes a while to train, because especially for sensitives or empaths have the tendency to think that if they can be easily affected by other people's energies. And that's true if they want to be affected by other people's energies. It doesn't have to be true. We have choice. And so what this looks like is, if you, for example, go out, you go to a restaurant, you go to a bar, you go wherever, and you walk into the place and the energy is really dense and really heavy and you're not liking it too much, instead of turning around and bolting and going home, you can actually make the choice. Again, choice points. You can make the choice for, at that moment, to dominate the energy instead of letting the energy dominate you, okay? So another way of saying this is, you're going to learn how to influence energy instead of letting energy outside of you influence you, okay? And this really has to do with you understanding your power, with you understanding who you are on a spiritual level, and just stepping into those powerful shoes. When you step into these powerful shoes, you can influence the energy in any space. You are very powerful. So you can walk into a room with 100 people who are in a crappy mood, and it doesn't matter that it's 100 people in a crappy mood against you. You can still affect the energy around you and influence and change that energy around you immediately, okay? Because here's the thing, if you used to run every time the energy was bad in a certain place, you're going to be running the rest of your life because the energy is pretty much unstable everywhere. So it's time to stop running, and it's time to stop saying, oh, you know, I feel like a fragile little wallflower that can't be in this world. You absolutely can, and you can affect the energy. The way that I do this is very simply, if I walk into a space and I don't like the energy, if the energy is heavy, I will not remove myself from that space. I'll take the opportunity to clean the space up, and literally the way I do is I just visualize a light exploding out of my heart in all directions, and it just covers the whole space that I'm entering in. Okay, so you can think of it like a powerful light exploding outward from your heart, filling the space that you are in with light codes or with light. So you're literally influencing and dominating the energy around you, cleaning up any density, so then you don't have to run home or you don't have to leave. You can enjoy life and not be worried that other people's energy has the power to affect you. Tip number 4 is that everything is temporary. And so this is just kind of a reassurance tip for you to keep in your mind. Just hold this mantra, the common mantra that goes like this, this too shall pass. I love that mantra, this too shall pass. It's such a great mantra. Just hold that mantra in your heart, no matter what's happening to you right now in your life. So if you're going through challenges or pain or suffering, no matter what's happening in your life right now, just hold that mantra that this too shall pass. And here's the good news, that in this kind of accelerated energy, in this kind of rapidly moving energy, our challenges, that we're going to be able to overcome them faster because everything is moving faster. So that's kind of the good news of this accelerated energy, is that you won't be stuck in challenges for very long. So just keep that beautiful mantra, this too shall pass. Breathe into it. Use that every day in your life, especially if you're going through significant challenges right now. Everything changes. Everything is temporary, and we're going to make it through anything that's going through your life just fine. Tip number 5 is to know where you are. And what I mean by that is this is really a tip just to bring reassurance to your mind and to the ego, because sometimes by just giving a little bit of reassurance to the mind, we're immediately calming the system down, because your mental body has the capacity to really create a lot of problems and a lot of agitation and a lot of restlessness. So just by allowing the mind to be reassured, allowing the ego to be reassured, we feel a lot better and we feel a lot calmer, all right? And what I mean by this is specifically for you to just know, reassure your mind and know where you are on the spiritual path. When you know where you are on the spiritual path, it can really help you feel a little bit better, more grounded. So you're not all over the place, not knowing what the heck is going on with you. That can agitate the ego a little bit more and agitate the mind. And in order to help you with this, I actually shot a whole video on the 6 stages of spiritual awakening. It's my most popular video ever on YouTube. And this video is going to take you through the 6 stages of spiritual awakening so you can locate which stage you're at, understand what's going on within each stage. And this will help really reassure you, calm your energy, and really confirm that you're on the right path. I'm going to leave links to that video in the description box below so you can watch after this one. Now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below if you are feeling any of the energy issues that I talked about in this video. I want to hear all about it in the comments below. And don't forget to also click on the link below to download your free workbook that comes as a supplement with this video. That'll really help you dig deeper in the content that we just shared here in this video. Click here to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or head over to my website to download my popular guided meditations. And don't forget the videos that I recommended in this video. That'll be great for you to continue viewing. All right, beautiful soul, I love you. I'm out.